Okay, this video is going to show you how to create a basic options screen using text menus. Now this is a little bit more complicated than the start menu setup, because we actually need several menus. We need a menu for picking difficulty, one for lives, one for volume, but we also need a main menu to decide which one of those sub menus we're going to run. Okay, so I've got an options mode. Okay, so you need to follow a video that tells you how to set that up, a new game state, so you've got something like your title and your high score one. Okay, so in here I've created 4 empty subroutines, one to create the volume menu, one to create the lives, difficulty and main menu. So what I've also got in startup, we go to startup.cs, in create menus I am actually running those 4 subroutines, even though they don't do anything yet, but they will do in a minute. Okay, the final piece of the puzzle is to make sure we've created storage space for our menus. So that's options main, diff, lives and volume. Okay, so these are going to be text menus, so we don't need to create any graphics for these. Right, so let's go about creating the main menu first. This is going to sit vertically, so I need to put mn options main equals a new menu, give it a name. I'm going to call it options main, and the menu type is going to be text. Okay, so all the ones in this video are going to be like that. The next step is to make sure we add this to the menu manager. Okay, to create a text menu we're going to need to create a text store. Okay, and we're going to use that several times, the same one, to create each option. Right, what I need to use is the text manager, because it's got a method of creating these called menu text. If you use Engine version 7.05, which is what you should be using now. The font I'm going to use is Gradius font from the front back, and I'm going to use that throughout for all these. So the first item in my options I'm going to call difficulty. Okay, and I'm going to set it at 50, 100, and I'm going to use a default text attribute, top left. Okay, so that creates the display, so that's what's going to be displayed on the screen. Now I need to add it to my menu, so graphics.mn option main add item, and it's going to be a new menu item, and I'm going to give it a name, and this is important, so I'm going to call this diff, and it's T that I'm adding. So that closes that subroutine, and that closes that subroutine. Okay, this, let's just recap this quickly. That's the display, that's what I'm calling that menu item, and that is the thing I need to look at when I want to do my input controls for this, which is in a different video. Okay, so I'm going to have a few more options here, so I'm just going to copy and paste. Right, and I'm going to change the Y positions, 200, 300, 400. The next option was going to be lives. I'm going to display lives on screen. The next one was going to be volume, so I'm going to say volume. Oops. And the next one was going to be finish. Okay, now that's the display. I need to make sure I change the name of the menu item. So this one's going to be called lives. Call this one vol, keep them shorter, then I don't make mistakes, and call that one finish. Okay, so that adds them to the menu. What I also need to do is make sure I set up some code to highlight and unhighlight the unselected ones. So I'm going to do this just below my create options. So this is the subroutine create options. Just below there I'm going to create 2 subroutines, one to highlight the text that's selected and one to unhighlight the text. So this is the first one I'm going to call option option highlight, Oh, let's call it option select. Right, not a sprite like it would be on a separate one, but we actually get a text store object. Okay, and what we're going to change are the properties of this text store. So each menu item is actually a text store, so that's what we're going to change. And I'm going to change the color, and I'm going to highlight them in red, and I'm also going to change the size. So my sizing, so scale it to 1.75f, so 175%. The corresponding one for that, option rejected, is going to reset all the text so that the unselected ones have a different look to them. So I'm going to say t.properties equals color.white, and you can see there's lots of other properties that you can change. So you've got angle, things like that. Okay. And I need to change the scale back so they're not the same size, so I'm going to call them 1.25f. Okay, oops, didn't put dot color on that one. Okay, so that's what I can use. So go back to my options menu, and I'm going to say graphics.mnoptions.on select text. So it's important that you do text, not sprite. We want to run option selected, and graphics.mn options main.on reject text. We want to do option rejected. Okay. The final thing I'm going to put in this is I'm going to set the options menu so it doesn't wrap. Now what I mean by that is when I get to the bottom, it doesn't flip back up to the top. Okay, so I have to go up and down. Right, I'm going to create the other menus in a similar way. So the difficulty one, let's go for that one. mndiff equals new menu, diff menu, I'm going to call that one, and then the menu type is text still. Add it to the menu manager. Okay, right, what I'm going to do temporarily, I'm going to go up to my options, start options code, and I'm going to show the main menu. Okay, so let's just run that. I just want to have a look, see what it looks like to make sure it works properly. So I'm running it. Oh, so I've got build errors. Oh dear, what have I done? mn, oh god, this is some old Manco code I've got. Let me just comment all them out. Okay, this is the code that you'll see in the other video. Let's just try it again. It'll come up with my start screen, title screen. Don't worry about all that. Oh, let me take that rubbish off. General Logic, that was some other testing when I was fixing Gradius font. I'll just take that off completely. Okay, let's run it again. It's chugging. I can hear the fan going. This silly laptop. Right, there you go. So you got difficulty, lives, volume, and finish. This video, remember, doesn't show you that code that does the input, but that's just to show you what it looks like. So it gets bigger and smaller. Okay, so let's kill that and carry on with the other menus. So back to options, creating the difficulty one in exactly the same way. So I'm going to actually copy and paste just one block of this code. When you copy and paste, make sure you change the things that you're adding stuff to. So I've changed that back. So my difficulty menu is going to be easy for the first one, and I'm going to put that at 450 100. And that first option is going to be easy. These names are important because you'll refer to these when you start saving and loading your settings. The next one's going to be normal. I'm going to call normal, and I'm going to put that at 60. Oops, got it set on there. And the next one is going to be hard. And I'm going to call that one hard. And I'm going to put that one, let's move that one along to 500. You'll have to play about with what you want for all this stuff. So I'm going to make that one at 530. But I'm going to make it at 20. Okay, so you don't have to put them in a straight line. They can go wherever you want. They can go in a circle if you wanted to. I'm also going to use the handlers for this, so I'm going to copy and paste these 3 lines, the select, reject and wrap no, because I want to do the exact same thing for this menu, but I must make sure I overwrite options main, options main, options main. Okay, so I'm just trying to save myself a little bit of time. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the lives menu, and then I'll show you how to create the volume one, which is going to be a slider. So I've got loads of diff in here, and I know what it's like. We must make sure we change everything. So this is going to be lives menu. Let's replace all the MN diffs in here. Okay, now my lives, they're going to be, I want 1 life, and then I'm going to put that as the name of it. I'm going to have 3 lives, put that as the name. You can have the number as the text. Oops. And I want 1 more, which is going to be 7 lives. And we'll have a look what this looks like in a sec. Right, so these are going to sit at 450. And I think if I go back to my options, lives was at 200 high, so I'll put all those to 200 on my lives one. 200, 200, 200, 200. Right, so let's move these so they don't overlap. That's 500, 550, 600. Okay, just make sure I've double checked this all says MN lives, lives. Okay, let's add those to be displayed. Remember, that only defines a menu. You need to do this to show a menu. Let's run that. Just see what that's like, and then we'll do the volume slider menu. And there you go. So, and again, there's no input code in this video, but you will be doing that in a separate one. So there you go. It's in a funny line. It's like a diagonal, and there's the lives, and I can't go off the end. That's what wrap no does. Okay, let's get the volume one done. Okay, now the volume one is slightly different. Let's just do the basic setup. Let's just copy and paste that bit, and then we're going to change the names. Volume. Oh dear. Volume menu. Make sure that is there. Okay, for the volume, I want to be able to select a value between 0 and 100. Okay, now I could copy and paste hundreds of lines, but that's stupid when I've got programming facilities called loops. It'll do it for me. So let's create the text store, because I'm going to need that because it's the text menu, but then I'm going to create a loop. And if you do 4 and then press tab, it will, and press tab again, it will build the loop for you. It's quite nice of it. Right, so we're going to go from 0. The length of this we want to go up to 100, but we're going to put less than or equal to 100. Okay, and that will force the loop to start at 0 and go all the way up in ones up to 100, including 100. what we're going to do is we're going to create our text. So let's do this one from scratch. So we can say t equals text manager dot menu text. The font, I'm going to use the Gradius font still. Gradius. Right, the actual text I want, let's get rid of that, is going to be the value of this variable. So the first time around this loop is going to be 0, then it'll go 2, 3, 4, and etc. So I say i.toString because I need it as a piece of text. The position I'm going to put it is 450 and 300 because that's where I had text at top left. That's where I had my main menu for volume. See, volume, it was at 300, so that's why I'm putting it at 300. Okay, I then need to make sure I add it. Add item, new menu item. Right, the name of it again is going to be i.toString. Okay, and I'm going to add t. Alright, so that few lines there is going to add 101 menu items to this menu. Now they're all currently sat at the same spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread them out. I'm going to spread them out like this. I'll explain what I'm doing in a sec. Right, so the first one will be at 450 plus the value of I times 2. Now the first time round I is 0, so that'll be 450. The second time round this loop I will be 1, so this will be 452. Okay, now let's add in our code to do the reject and select. It's a pity you can't do all your menus like that because that would be a damn sight easier. Make sure it's the volume one. Oops. Let's display it and see what it looks like, and then we'll make it a little bit better just to see what it looks like. Oh, and I'm going to do the wrap again. I don't want this one to wrap either, because once I get up to 100 I don't want it to flick around back to 0 because that would really annoy me. Okay, so let's run that and see what we got. There you go. So we've got all the menu things shown at once. We don't want that. This is going to be a slider, so what we want is only the selected item to be visible. On the difficulty menu, we're quite happy for that to happen. Okay, so they're all showing, so we can see what the other options are. But with a slider, you don't really need to show all the options. So quit that, come back to create volume, create, I can't even speak, mnvol dot item show selected only is the subroutine that does this work. If we run that again, you'll see the effect of that. Okay, and we've only got the 0 volume. What we've also got, because I sat them all at different locations, it slides along. Okay, so the other video that you're going to see is going to show you how to do the input code for this. Go back so that you can make a proper slider and you can control these options. It's really simple actually. All you do is you say what main menu items highlighted. Well, if it's difficulty, then when we go left and right we're going to alter the difficulty menu, next and previous, and for this one we just do the lives, and this one we just do the volume. Okay, but there's something special we'll do with the volume so it's a bit quicker because I'm getting a bit fed up pressing the button, to be honest. Okay, so that's the video. So text menus look nice, especially when you use a nice font like the Gradius one. Okay, thank you very much.